Good morning. I'm sitting in the parking lot at work because I'm here like on time, but I have some like yarn back here because I do plan on hanging out with my best friend after work. It is Friday. I'm off at 5:30, maybe even earlier because I don't want to take a whole 30-minute break for a 6-hour and 15-minute shift. I hate that so much, but yeah, we're doing that. And then also I have all these like sweets right here because one of my coworkers, today is his last day with us, I think, but I completely forgot that today, well, okay, I didn't forget that today was his last day, but I did forget to start the cake yesterday or the day before. So the plan was to make red velvet cake pops, and I looked at it. I brought my cream cheese out at like 11 p.m. last night. I work at 10:45, so I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't going to work. I have butter. Butter is fine. And then I pull out my strawberry cake mix instead, and I realize I don't have enough like what is it? Powdered sugar. I don't have enough powdered sugar to make frosting. So yeah, I could have probably bought some frosting this morning. Not frosting, cream cheese. What am I trying to say? It's early in the morning. I'm not ready for today. Like, today snuck up on me. I have a lot of things going on in my life right now. So what I have packed in my yarn bag today is my yarn for a beret, and then I'm going to start working more on my accessories because I told myself I would work on like these star dangles for one of my friends who's moving this month. We think she is. She's going out to California for Fan Fest, and we're not sure if she's coming back. Yeah. And I told myself I'd have it done by this month, but I haven't finished it yet. So, oh, I just realized I didn't bring any stuffing with me either. Okay, well, some of that plan's out the window. I'm not prepared for today. Today's been I knew I'd forget something. Anyways, I'm gonna go into work and then listen to some symphonic black metal because I've been obsessed with that. I heard Cradle of Filth last night on my For You page, and then I realized that they were coming to Rockville, and now I feel bad that I'm not going to Rockville on that Thursday because I'm going on the Sunday to see Jaluka and My Chemical Romance. It's in May 7th through 10th. Man, if only I had money and time. I'm stressed. Good morning. I got a lot of crochet done last night, but like a lot is suggestive, I guess. I don't know. So in this bag, we have a bunch of stars. Let me get the yarns separated real quick. So I've had this bag like kind of with stuff in it for a while. This one has been in here for a while. I just need to add like a little thing so I can add a pin to it, whatever, clip. So that's why this is in the bag. And then I think yesterday I had like this many done before I started working on them at my best friend's house. So now we have this many that were finished there. So I can finish like one hair piece. I need to do at least 2 more of this colorway. And then this one I need to do at least 1 more because I want to do 2 of these for my friend that's going away forever. Oh wait, I have 1. Okay, so this one I can do 1 like hair dangle. This one I need 2 hair dangles because I want her to, because she wears pigtails a lot. Well, it's been a while since she's worn pigtails, but she's going through a lot right now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 5, 6. So yeah, I need 2 more. And I have one that's like kind of worked up, but I've only got 4 rows done. No, I got 5 rounds. So this one needs the points, and then it needs 1 more. And then, yeah, I don't really have much more to say except for that's what I got done last night. Oh, I also got in contact with my commissioner. I don't know if I've told y'all, but we are going to meet up, not this week, but next Saturday. I have these tickets, and I'm going to try to hide these barcodes, but we have these tickets where I can go to a punk show at House of Blues. They live further than I do. I work in the area, so I'm going to be able to show up pretty early. I'm going to bring the stuff, and then we're probably going to show up to the show a little bit later. The show starts at 6:30. So she says she's going to show up around 5:30. And then once I get all the sizing stuff done, then I'm going to bring my stuff back to my car, and then I'm going to attend the show because I think it's going to be really fun because I can't bring my yarn stuff into the show. But I think it's just going to be fun. So, all right, let's get some work done before I start work. Yeah, I have to get ready for work soon. I don't work till 1:15. It's 10 a.m. I'm probably leaving the house at 11:45, so I have quite a bit. Perfect timing. My alarm just went off. I just finished one of these. I can't remember if I do 50 or 60 between. I think I'm going to keep it at 50 foundation single crochets because then it lines up with how many rounds I have to do here before I start doing the points. So yeah, we got one done. We have another one that I need to get done. I think I still want to make the little horse amigurumi. Oh, also, while we're here, let me show you this. So I've had these little guys sitting over here for a while, and I think I just want to make them into a bow now. So you can't really see because it's backlit over here. They're supposed to be like eyeballs with bat wings, and looking back at the footage I had earlier, I think I like the original bat wings, and I don't really know how to show you guys that yet, but this was supposed to go on my my Melty Love cardigan, right? But I don't want to do that anymore. I think I just want to put it on a bow and call it a day. I don't know how I want to shape the bow. Maybe I could shape the bow this way. I don't know. Maybe use bigger yarn. How does this look as a bow, though? I don't think so. But I want to make eyeball batwing bows in the future. And because it's no longer crochet wearable season, I have to get cognizant about crochet accessory season. And even then, berets aren't really something that people like to wear in the summer or spring down here in Florida. I, however, am crazy and I love my berets. So that's why I started working on these little guys last week. I did finish it. I don't remember if I told y'all, but I did finish all 3 of them. Now, I finished one of these while editing last week's video. But yeah, these ones are ready to go. I don't think I want to do slime drips with this one. If I do the bat wings, I got to figure something else out. But I do definitely want to make more oh my God, everything's falling. I do want to make more bows for the season so that people like know that I'm not just winter wear. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I haven't been accepted into any markets recently, because everybody's like, oh, you're either a amigurumi artist, which we have tons of those, or you're just making cardigans and it's just too hot for those. So I need to hurry up, get some photos. I think that's what I'm going to work on this weekend, since my weekends consist of working on these mock-ups of the Melty Love cardigan for my commissioner. So anyways, I gotta get started going. Work. Okay, it's 11:47, which is a little bit later than I want to leave, but I was able to finish the second one. So all I gotta do is sew in the ends. Oh God, sew in the ends, and then I'll be able to stuff it in a box that I bought during Valentine's Day from Home Goods. Also, this is the sample of what it looks like. This is a smaller yarn. It's bamboo yarn, whereas this is actually acrylic, but this one has like black light reactive yarn in it. So I really, really like it. I don't get that many sales on it. I'm not going to lie. That's the last one standing in my booth usually. I get more sales on the black and purple, like the pastel goth ones. I get more sales on. But hopefully people will like these in the future. I think it's because of and like whenever I talk it up and say, oh yeah, it's black light reactive, they're like, oh, that's cool. And then they'll buy it. But anyways, I gotta go to work. This is a separate piece, and I thought I was going to make this into a thing, but I really don't like it that much. It's just a bow. Yeah. All right, work time. Update on the plants. The peppers, they're growing. Look at the little babies. Got some over here too, kind of like not where they were supposed to be, but they'll get some nutrients there. These ones aren't doing the best. Oh, this one. Ooh, that one's doing really well. Ooh, this is exciting. I love plants. Also, one of my coworkers brought these into work today. There was just this one left, and I guess nobody liked lemon pudding flavor, but it doesn't expire till this month. So I'm going to use this with the strawberry, and we're going to make some strawberry cake pops because this expires soon. Or is it Best By? No, it doesn't even say. Yeah. Oh, it is a Best By date. Still, I want to use it. Good morning. I didn't get anything done last night, but this morning, I sewed in the ends for these. So I've also pulled up the box that it goes in. While talking to my coworker last night, I learned that she wants to make a, like, she's a big Labubu collector. She's a toy collector in general, so it made sense that she got into Labubus. And she wants to make a little white mage, I think. Yeah, a white mage outfit for her Labubu. She doesn't know which one she's bringing with her yet, but she's trying to make one for her Labubu. And she's been like talking about what she should do for the material and all that. And I was like, oh, bed sheets. And then I thought about this. I don't know if it'll fit in here, but I am a sewist and I want to get like into learning how to self draft. And I think this would be a really good start, at least in the doll world. I don't know, because like there's a lot of doll makers out there and I'm very envious of them and how they do all their art. And I looked up instructions on how to do it, and they give you like the centimeters and inches of certain dimensions and all that. Did I do this right? Does this look right? I don't know. But they give you the certain dimensions of things. And I think it'd be fun to make something for her, the red mage. Because she was like, well, if I do it this way, then I could just at least red Sharpie it. And I'm like, I have a pattern that I've used before that has the little triangle inserts and it didn't work for me, but I can try it again in a smaller scale and see why it didn't work for me. I think what it really needs is like I forgot what it's called, but it's the inner layer of it. And then it would look, well, good, whatever. I have plenty of white fabric. I think I have enough red fabric. If anything, I can just crochet it, but I'd rather not because I'm already working on something else crochet. But I think that it'd be fun to try to do it. I don't think I can. Well, I mean, let me not say it that way. I won't be upset if I can't because it is a surprise if I do it. Yeah. Anyways, these are done for her. I know that she's not going to FanFest. I don't know when exactly she's leaving, but the 24th is FanFest. She'll be out there the day before, that's for sure, because she was talking about going to Universal for their FanFest thing because they're doing like One Piece, I think. I don't know. They're doing stuff out there, which I'm super jealous of because we streamline everything down here because we are much busier than Hollywood is. Like the theme parks in California, they're more likely to cater to the locals, whereas us, not as much. There are some things that Universal caters to the locals. SeaWorld will cater to the locals, but I don't have passes for there, and I don't know. I'm not the type of local that they want to cater to. If it says anything, they're having an Easter service today. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say I did finish that. I also got my yarn in, so let me show you what yarns I got. Starting off with these ones. This is for personal projects. I bought more so that I can get that $1 or 1 cent shipping price. I want to try more lime greens. I think I should have ordered more purple. Actually, I think I did order a purple, but I want to do more like slime style. I think this would be good on a black. So I definitely have black yarn, and either I'll do defrosting skelly shrug or I'll do another slime drip cardigan. It's so bright that it's reflecting off this light onto my skin. I'm so excited. I gotta try it with a black light. Let me go grab that real quick. Super reactive to UV. I need to find a better way to like have this show, but this will be very exciting for other clothes. I hope to do this soon. I don't know. Like, it's so cool. Hold up. Yeah, so I got 3 skeins of it so that I can work on, because I could do 3 defrosting skelly shrugs with this yarn. This amount of yarn makes I did an extra small in this kind of yarn, but in blue, and it didn't use all of it. So I know that I can do multiples of this. And then I have too much yarn, y'all. I need to get my stuff together. Honestly, this is the reason why I didn't buy from Michaels, because if I bought from Michaels for the free shipping, I would have had to buy $49 worth of yarn, and I just really didn't want to do that. We also got this purple. I wanted to try a different purple. This is eggplant, and this is their sparkle yarn. I want to try their sparkle yarns too, because I don't think Big Twist Sparkle is going, or Twinkle, I think that's what they call it. I don't think that's going to be in stock for very long. Michaels kind of has the tendency to buy stuff up and then just let it die, and Big Twist is on the way. Like, they did restock the black colorway and Big Twist Value in the big bundle, but they haven't restocked their Big Twist Twinkle that I know of, and they haven't done the most popular red color, the dark red. I was going to go for their true Victorian red or whatever, but for Hirschner's at least, but I decided on not doing that because I do really like the cherry, or the cerise, which is cherry in French, I believe. I went for that colorway in Lion brand, and I'm pretty happy with that colorway, so I don't think I need to find a new one. Plus, I like the thinness of that yarn. This thinness is very similar to the Lion brand, I want to say. Yeah, they're pretty similar weights, so that's pretty promising. And then I also got one more yarn, and this is for the project. This is the Pound of Love. This is the colorway that I was looking for pretty much. This is closer to a Kelly green. I wish the label would have stayed on a little bit better because I don't like taking the labels off right away. I have this, and I'll compare it to this Lion brand. Yeah, this one I feel like will show up much better with the black. I prefer using this one over this Loops and Threads right here. I think I have, no, hold on. All right, so these two colorways, you can see even in this yellow light, how much closer, or like how much easier it is to see these colors next to each other. This would be a much better color, and I hope she goes for this one because I don't want to work with the Loops and Threads anymore. Here's the Loops and Threads. In my eyes, they look very similar in color. I am using a yellow light, so it's going to be a little bit harder to see the color difference, but I know the texture for this one is better. In the camera, this one looks a little bit more foresty as opposed to this one. So I think that she probably won't notice that much of a difference between the colorways. I'm not sure, but this is the winter green, and I'm really looking forward to working that one up a little bit. I've only done like a couple like color piece works, and I plan on doing one more color piece in the forest green. What is it? Hunter green. I want to do one more color piece in the hunter green, and then two more in this. That way, like with this one, I'm going to do one with like the black on it so that she can see the color difference, and then I'll do another one just working it up, because the two that I have one kid size one that's kind of worked up, and that one has the black collar so that she can see the color way and then she can feel. And the other one is a little bit smaller than what it's the same size that I'd want for myself. Then we have one that starts with a 97 foundation single crochet. I think the next one I'm going to do maybe 117, and then the next one after that maybe 147, something like that. I kind of want to go incremental, ending with 7, because that kind of evens out for me. But yeah, I have these. I am meeting up with her. I don't know if I told y'all, but I am meeting up with her on April 10th. I have 3 of these tickets, and she says she already has some too. So I did invite my best friend. I don't think they're up for it because they're not really as much into music as I am, which is fine. Like, I want to get myself into the music scene, even if it's just me going, because I am a music person. So also they gave me a little thing. It's usually nothing I can never use. It's like diamond art and all that. Sometimes it looks like AI, which is really disappointing. I expect better from them, but whatever. They do have fabric, so maybe I'll look into their fabric, because, oh, speaking of this, so I have a ton of this ribbon, and I never work with it because I hate the color of white it is. If it was off-white, I think I'd like it a little bit more, but it's just like a bright white. So if I can dye it, and I think I'd want to dye it like a lilac or something, I would love to do that, and then be able to sell them. Maybe do a little bit of crochet for this little binder right here, because this is fabric, and that fabric was hard to like match with this. So yeah, I need to go to work, and then it's my Monday. No, today is my Friday. All right, see you guys later. So I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was about HHN, and it's the new ticket system with the stay and scream or scream early ticket. I don't know. I'm an annual pass holder, so I don't ever bother with those. But there's verbiage on there that certain houses open at 2 p.m. and everybody's like freaked out. They're like, oh my God, so you're coming in at 2 p.m. and you're only going to do 3 houses and it's up to Universal's discretion and those houses aren't ever filled and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know if people are just omitting or just forgetting the fact that there's going to be rides open. Like, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to need a refund for this. All you're going to do is have 3 houses open and that's the benefit. And it's like, I think the benefit is riding rides and doing scream early, like getting in line for things. I personally probably won't show up until like 4, just because 2 o'clock is early, man. But like, I don't know. I think people are just forgetting. HHN Halloween Horror Nights is a big part of my life. And if I were to move out of the state, which we've been considering a lot, I would really, really, really miss it. But I think people are just overlooking the fact that it's not just about the houses when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights. Yes, people want to line up early, but if you're there and you're not an annual pass holder, you're there for any day, you can ride the rides. It's just like in Hollywood. And maybe because I have the perspective of Hollywood where we did the scream early, I don't think we did. Yeah, we didn't. So we did the, I think it's the 2 or 3 p.m. Super Mario or Super Nintendo Land thing where we were able to get in early. We got the wristband because it was attached to HHN and we were still able to ride rides. Like literally we rode the dog ride. What is it called? Secret House of Pets or whatever. Secret Life of Pets. We rode that ride during the scream early time period. So I don't know why people are like, oh my God, it's just the houses. And it's like, it's not. You can order food and ride rides and get up in line for the houses. The houses say that they're opening at 2 p.m. So if you're one of those scream early people, if you're an annual pass holder with an HHN ticket, you're able to do it, like leave and go. I don't understand why it's hard for people to understand that concept. Maybe, like I said, it's because I've done HHN Hollywood and I've done Mickey's Not So Scary. I don't know. Oh, also, maybe I should do Mickey's Not So Scary this year. I don't know. Like, it's been a long time. The last time we did it was pre-COVID. And it's such a cute little event. It's just so dang expensive. I'll look into it. I'll talk to my husband about it. I think it's really cute, though. If you've never been, it's one of those, like, you should do it once. But, especially if you're in the Florida area, you should do it once. But other than that, it's the same thing every year. All right, I'm going into work. New spec map just dropped. Hello. So people are saying that Ozzy might come to as a house, and that's exciting. That's super exciting. Oh, my fish. I came out here for that. But I'll talk about it later. I feel like talking about HHN should be left to a separate video because I will start talking about it a lot and nothing will do with my crochet or sewing. But Ozzy Osbourne coming to HHN would be huge. As a metal fan, I love all the music houses that they do. When The Weeknd came, people were in denial of The Weeknd. Like, they were like, oh, it's going to be so bad. What does it have to do with horror? And it was easily one of my favorite houses in the entire world. And I say that as somebody who likes the originals way more than the IPs. It was so good. The music, I mean, I really love music. So, like, they've got me there. But it was so good. And another speculation is Stranger Things. Which Stranger Things, I don't really care for it. I didn't have Netflix this whole entire time. I haven't had Netflix since COVID. So, yeah, I don't really have any feelings on that. Sinners. So, I don't know how much I've talked about Sinners, but Sinners is one of my favorite movies that's come out recently. But a lot of people, when they talk about Sinners coming to the event, they're all like, well, there's not that much scenery. And it's like, you guys didn't watch the movie. Oh, there's not that much scariness. It's like, you guys don't understand the movie. The movie is like a lot of psychological horror as well as gore. And then on top of that, the scenery isn't huge. And I think that's where people are like, oh, it's just in the juke joint or the jukebox. I can't remember what the club was called, but oh, that's just the whole entire thing. It's like, there are multiple scenes. I think one of the scenes that they could do is when the natives came across the family that was about to be turned by Remick. Sorry, I'm having troubles remembering names right now. Hello, buddy. Hello. You are so cute and handsome. I know. I'm trying to have a conversation, though. I think that would be a wonderful scene because that is a precursor. Like, it's telling you, like, a foreshadowing, rather, of what the rest of the movie's going to be like. Like, you can't invite them in. That's a good scene to put in there. And I know it's not much scenery, but, like, Universal has done less. Like, yeah, of course you have the juke joint. Then you also have I can't remember which one it was, but they had a child, but that child never was born. And I think that would be a wonderful scene. He's gonna keep on bothering me. I think he thinks that I'm crying because my nose is stuffed right now. Sinners is gonna be a phenomenal house. I don't think that people understand or have actually watched Sinners when they say that Sinners isn't gonna be good. And then they have, like, Pinhead speculated, and they also, for the Burning Book, I think they said Evil Dead, which I also don't know much about either of those two. But I know Pinhead will be, like, a very exciting one for horror fans. And Evil Dead, I know, if that's what it's called, I know that's going to do well, because it's a video game franchise, and Universal's doing really well with the video game franchises. I haven't looked too much into the original houses yet. There's, of course, the Jack vs. Oddfellow house, which it's not really versus, it's more teaming up. And then there's a couple more that I haven't really looked into because, I don't know, I'm just really bad at speculation. I watch other people speculate before I start talking about it. I wasn't really looking too hard because I kind of want to look this over with my husband, but somebody mentioned in the comments the banana peel scare zone. It's another, like, this might be Fortnitemares, and honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. It's not for me. Somebody will get enjoyment out of it, and at the end of the day, Universal is a business, and they're trying to get repeat customers. They're trying to build on the nostalgia. That's what Disney's motto was the whole entire time, and now that Magic Kingdom's getting torn down, everybody's upset about it because they built their legacy on nostalgia and they're suddenly ripping it out, you know? This is what Universal is trying to do right now, is build up on nostalgia so that the kids who are going now in their teens get to come back when they have adult money by themselves or when they bring their own kids, you know? And then we've also got, like, a fountain show, which a lot of people are saying it's going to be a Stranger Things themed show. One of the reasons why I love the stream shows or the fountain shows is because they put so much music into it. Music, I mean, I talk about it all the time. Not really through here because it's really hard for me to post any music unless I'm doing shorts. But that's what made those shows so wonderful. It was like a little break for me particular because it was usually good music. I will say Ghoulish last year, some of that music wasn't that great, but it felt more kid friendly than I wanted, but that's a me thing. If they put Ozzy in it, that'd be phenomenal. I wouldn't be too mad about a Stranger Things theme just because I love 80s music, and I know they reference a lot of 80s music in the show, and they've got a couple catchy tunes, so I wouldn't be too upset about it. And we still don't know what's going on with the Nightmare Fuel area. It has 4 boxes, but I don't know what any of that means, and I'm gonna wait for somebody else to speculate before I start talking about that. Oh, HHN season is here. It's coming.
I just learned I should be pruning these, and, like, I don't know if I want to do it this year. I have my little pruning trimmers right here, but if I prune these, oh, is it already got? Yeah, it has a little tuft right here. Sorry, a little tuft right here. So we're probably going to get some berries off of this one. So what you want to do with this is, like, let some grow out, and then whenever it gets, like, really big, you want to cut so that it can, like, encourage growth to these side ones. So if you can see right in here, there's a little tuft right there. So we're probably going to get berries there. We're probably going to get berries here. This one, probably not. There's a little tuft right there. Maybe we'll get something there. So I don't want to prune it yet, but I know as soon as I start pruning this, I'm going to want to propagate these So I'm going to probably wait till next year. This one is probably going to be like, right, oh, actually, this one back here, that one's going to probably be one that's pruned in the future as well. But I need to learn more about what kind of blackberries I have. I know that they're thornless, which is weird to me because I grew up with them growing in the wild, and they were very thorny and they were not fun to walk amongst, but you know, whatever. So let's see, what kind do I got? It says full sun. Okay, great. Sweetie Pie Blackberry. I don't know if that's like its actual name or whatever, but I need to look this up to see like more of the care that I need. Is there anything on the back? Oh, look at that. Yeah, so it doesn't really tell me what I need, but I know that in the future I'm definitely going to end up propagating these so I can get more. And then I think I want to add these to my front yard so that I can like just look at them when I come home and then see, oh, this one needs to be propagated or this one needs to be whatever. It's so cute. So I probably need to like tie this in too. I don't know. I know it does well growing up against the side of the house apparently. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this plant. But let me show you the other plants. I'm so obsessed with my plants right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I decided to use this little greenhouse thing for now for my extra water that I've been siphoning from outside. I brought this one back in because I've been collecting too much water at this point, but I plan on getting a little lid for this bucket so that I can just flip this up and then pour the water in here because one of the reasons why I have difficulties, hello lizard, one of the reasons why I have difficulties with watering my plants is because I don't want to keep on walking back and forth with my tiny little watering can. That's what it's called. But anyways, look at these ones. So 2 of these are surviving. Let me throw this out real quick. This is kind of a composting thing. It's not really. I just have soil in here left over. So if I need something really fast, I might just mulch it. But yeah, this is just leftovers. But yeah, this one's doing pretty well. I mean, they're all over here doing pretty well, except for this one's starting to get a little bit wilted. So I'm a little worried about this one. Like, they're not growing straight up, which is kind of concerning to me. These ones are surprisingly trying to. Like, I think I just didn't bury them deep enough. These ones are doing well. This one especially. These ones keep on like lifting and then lowering, lifting and lowering. These ones are doing well. Like I was saying, I think this one's pretty much gone. It's still pretty green. That one's gone. This one's doing well-ish. These ones, kind of. This one's doing well. I can see that it's trying. And then this one, yeah, whatever. We got the peppers. I did change where they were sitting. This one was closer to the window at first, but now I want to put this one in front of the window because I don't know if the seeds are in here anymore. Hopefully they are, but we'll see. As you guys have seen earlier, we have the peppers growing over here. This one's doing so well. There's 2 of them in there, so we'll probably have to separate them, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll grow into one thing. Then we have these guys right here. These ones are doing very well, surprisingly well. And then these ones and these ones. I kind of want to start more, but like also, I don't know. I want more fruits and veggies in my life, and this is such a good start. I'm so excited, y'all. My desk is just getting messier and messier, and I'm not having a good time, but also I'm getting a lot of stuff done. I have like 5 projects right in front of me, and I'm kind of sick of it. Anyways, I'm working on a new bow. So one of my coworkers, I posted today about the bows. I don't have any over here, but the Melty Love bows that I've been making. I posted about them saying that they're coming to the shop soon. And she's like, oh my God, I need one. And I was like, okay, so I'm working on different colorways. Are there any colors you'd like to see? And she said pink and purple, which I probably will be doing. I'll probably do like a lavender and a light pink. And then she also said teal and pink or purple or even black. And I do have, okay, so well, you guys already kind of saw it, but I have this kind of tealish color. It's not quite teal. It doesn't say it's teal. Watch it say teal. It says teal. Anyways, I guess I have this teal colorway, and I didn't know what to do with it because it really doesn't match anything in my inventory or my closet or anything. And I didn't really want to make a beret out of it because if I made a beret out of it, I'd want to make the spiderweb beret, but it just doesn't match what I want to do with my spiderweb berets. I kind of want to keep it black and glow in the dark, or the pastels thing.
it just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So anyways, as I was saying, she suggested teal and black. So I put these two together, and right now we're working on it, and I'm really liking it. This really pops out. You can see it in the sunlight right here. It looks like my Rain energy can. Sorry, I'm still drinking my energy drinks. But it also matches the color of my thing, my crochet hook. Maybe I should rub some of it off on here. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I do have all but one sample of this collar piece done. So this one I still need to add the black to so she can see the colorway. And this is for my commissioner, by the way. This, I need to add the black ribbing around it so that she can see it fully and how it's going to work up. Right now, I'm only doing like 5 rows each because I'm running out of stitch markers and it's kind of embarrassing. But I also don't want to buy any more stitch markers because that's a waste of money. Yeah. So I have these worked up. I have one more, like I said, and it's going to be the largest size that I'm working with. And with that being said, once I get those ones worked up, I'm going to pack them up and put them to the side in my sewing room because I don't want to see them anymore. My desk is a huge old mess and I want to work on other things. Like, no offense to the commissioner. I will work on her things, but right now it's just sample pieces until I get her body measurements and all that. Oh, good luck to me. Oh wait, I also forgot that I was going to talk about one of the creators that I used to watch a lot was just diagnosed with ADHD. And I remember mentioning this to her in her comments about a year ago. I mentioned it. And like, it, looking back at it, it was kind of rude of me, but like also it was something I was noticing because she was talking about how like depressed she was and how things were affecting her in her school life before and like how it affects her now. And I'm like, that sounds a lot like my college experience. And then I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was 29 or 30. Like, I was peer reviewed first. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I don't bounce out the walls. And if you also are ADHD and a woman, you understand that we in the 90s did not get diagnosed because we didn't look typical ADHD. Now, I'm also autistic, so it kind of like balanced each other out. And I've mentioned this many of times, but I kind of balanced myself out in some ways, but I still am weird and odd. So it's just fun. Like, it's not fun. Don't get me wrong, because fun is an objective word. And being late diagnosed ADHD, there's a big sense of dread. I remember being so sad in my 30s. Well, I'm still in my 30s, but when I turned 30, that I was my entire life up to that point undiagnosed and had no help because I was told, oh, she's smart, but she is just bored, when that's literally a symptom of ADHD. So it's just kind of nice knowing that people are getting diagnosed more often, especially women. I know that right now there's an ADHD medication shortage. And I will say, as somebody who got late diagnosed, I would not suggest going on medication unless you work a really strict office job where you have to have all these things. We have a friend who is also ADHD and he works a job that you have to focus on. And he's starting to wean off of medication because I think he was also late diagnosed, but he absolutely needed the medication. And I think his idea of weaning off the medication is only doing it at work. Like, he takes not Ritalin, I don't remember, Adderall, I think. And there's a negative misconception of Adderall being meth, which it is a key component to ADHD medication. However, we as ADHDers need it, as opposed to people who are neurotypical who take it just so they can get the speedy zooms. It has an opposite effect. Just like when I say coffee makes me sleepy, it's the opposite effect on neurotypical people. I know it's really funny to say that I get sleepy after drinking coffee. It's not always the first cup of coffee. The first cup of coffee, if I drink it first thing in the morning, like I said, hold on, Apollo needs to go outside. As I was saying, that coffee, like, it doesn't necessarily wake me up in the morning. My energy drink, I've still been drinking it. Oh, here's another thing about being ADHD. We have like 3 drinks on our counter. That's one of the reasons why my table is a mess. Right now, I only have 2 drinks on my table. One for energy and kind of flavor. It kind of balances each other out. And then I have water. If I don't have those in my face, I will be dehydrated, first of all. Second of all, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it's a common trope in ADHDers. We have our energy beverage, we have our hydrating beverage, and we have our tasting beverage. I will say I was just drinking ramen soup, the soup from my ramen, so I guess that could also be a flavored beverage, but whatever. Besides the point. The coffee didn't necessarily wake me up in the morning, just like this energy drink isn't necessarily waking me up. It's keeping my brain calm so I can focus on things. Although now that technology is very abundant in my life, I have to have something on in the background while I'm doing this so that my brain doesn't wander off and be like, oh, you gotta go do something else. That's just how my ADHD works. I wasn't the kid that bounced off the walls. I was a talkative kid in some ways, but I think it was because I felt like I needed to talk and not because I had to talk, like, or because I wanted to talk. Because people had asked me questions and I would answer. And I was loud because if it was something I was passionate about as an autistic person, I think this might be an ADHD too. Like, we can't really control our voices when we're excited. Like, we want to info dump at people. So, like, when something I was interested in was talked about, I would be very loud. My mom, while raising me, always told everybody that I was a quiet kid because I was at home, because I was an obedient kid, because I got it beat out of me, basically. But at school, my teachers were always like, oh, she's talkative. She talks a lot. And it was because I would get my work done really fast and I didn't know what else to do. So I would do things to distract myself, which kind of fell under the talks a lot category. Anyways, I don't know why I'm starting to talk about it. I mean, I do know why I'm talking about ITG, but I just think it's interesting seeing women my age or around my age get diagnosed and realize how many times in their lives they've been wronged and how they can heal that. I also just got finished responding to a mutual of mine about being autistic because they also suspect that they're autistic. And I was like, at the very least, if you're not like considering getting diagnosed for autism, at least like look at the methods of how we as ADHDers like try to get through things. Like, one thing that I have like to do is I had to take breaks very, very often. I have learned that I can't handle change. I thought I could, but it depends on how the change works. If it's like a slow, gradual change, fine. But if it's an immediate change, it's not something I can handle. And my brain goes crazy. Me taking a break from work was a huge relief because things are changing at work every single day. And it's really tough to be working through that. I just hate it. And like every time I go back, I'm like, I can't stand this job. And it's one of the reasons why I think I talked about it either this vlog or last vlog that I want to quit really, really bad, is because my brain can't handle all this change that's happening. And I'm somebody that's like directly in the way of the change. I'm not in the way of the change. I'm directly dealing with the changes. Because if I were just somebody that was selling things, ringing people out, I wouldn't have to worry about it. But like fixtures change all the time. Things move around the store all the time. Like, having had been scolded as a kid for asking questions was a detriment to me. I never wanted to ask questions because I got yelled at a lot, especially being a foreign kid too. Like, yeah, I'm half white, but because I lived in a very white area, I was not white to anybody. It all changed when I got to college and I tried to hang around with the Asian kids. I was not Asian. So that's a whole different discussion. I don't want to get into that, but times are tough. Having to ask questions is very hard for me because of growing up like that. And I'm struggling at work a lot. And I think I know that's why I love crochet so much. It helps with my anxiety. And this is one of those anxiety things that I am going through. Like, I don't know. I'm talking around in circles now. I'm just talking. So let me continue doing this. I'm going to try to make 2 more of these outside of this. And then I don't know if I want to make a beret out of these colorways. I think it'd be really pretty, but I just don't know if I have the mental stamina to do it. So I'm going to continue watching gardening videos. I also kind of want to apologize, but not really, because this is my own vlog. And if you want to stay for the journey, feel free. If not, I completely understand. My garden, I love plants so much. And I want to get better at gardening. And it's going to be really sad if I move out of the state. We're thinking about moving to the Pacific Northwest because it has a lot of the things that we like. what we've seen is the winters are pretty like mild, and that, well, the forest really interests me. The ocean, tide pool specifically, really interests my husband with our powers combined, you know? And the food scene out there, my husband is really into like Southeastern Asian cooking in general, but Asian cooking overall. He's a culinarian. That's one of his special interests is food and the science behind food. I think it was Alton Brown, the science guy. I don't know. That's all him. I know about some of his fish interests too, because that's one of his special interests. He knows a lot. In Washington State area, that's a really good little area. So we were looking at Beaverton. I need to look into that more. I need to look for jobs out there. I don't know. I don't know what we want to do, or it's probably not going to be anytime soon, but that is something in our future. So I'm going to have to relearn plants. But I think moving up there, because we won't have the theme parks and because gas prices are getting more and more expensive, me traveling is going to dwindle a lot. Moving somewhere up in that area that has better public transportation. We have none, 0 to none. Has better public transportation, but also a lot more nature will benefit me. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass. Like, let me stop talking. Let me get this work done. Dear Lord. I'm laying in bed because I'm kind of eepy. Not eepy. I'm just tired of crochet. But I've been keeping up with Artemis II, kind of, in a way. And they just left their 40-minute blackout, like communication blackout, maybe like 10 minutes ago. Now they're like on an hour crew observation break. And I'm so excited because we're finally going to get to see pictures of that side, like very clear photos taken by humans of that side of the moon, because that's the side of the moon that we don't see on Earth. Like, there's been, I think it's the Apollo 13. My space knowledge is very, very behind. It's been a while since I've been this interested in space, and it's mostly because of the defunding of NASA, and like, I need reminders that I do like space. Like, I was talking about it earlier. I do like stars, and I wish I could have gotten into astronomy. I kind of tried to get into astrology because astrology kind of leads into that, but astrology is not for me. I just like stars and star observation. It's really cool. But space, oh, there's a game that I used to play all the time called No Man's Sky, if that's an indication of anything. But yeah, I'm so excited to see those photos and see like debriefing and all that. It's so fun. Like, it feels, it's just like everything you see about the Artemis II launch is just so fun. One of the people in the Comcast area had an Artemis plushie from Sailor Moon in their area, wearing a Sailor Moon Usagi lanyard around their neck. And it's like, there's so many people in the world that are so inspired by this, and it's such a phenomenal thing. This has been going on since like 2017, and it's so cool that scientists are still able to do this. Space exploration is such a cool thing. I love every bit of it. And while we're on this topic, while I'm starting to cry about these astronauts being out there, there is an astronaut trying to grow plants in space, and I think that's super neat. I came across it on Reddit, and they tried growing Peruvian potatoes, and they were successful. They were small, but they were successful. And I think they said that one plant that didn't make it was, I think, like an elephant ear plant. It wasn't a fruiting plant. So I think that's a phenomenal thing that's going on with space right now. I could never be an astronaut. I could never be a scientist. I don't want to say I'm too dumb for it, but my brain just doesn't work that way. It's so cool seeing all these steps that these astronauts and scientists are going to see what's sustainable out there, what can make it out there. And I just listened to astronaut Glover. I don't remember his first name because all I can think of is Donald. But he was talking basically about, like, no matter what you celebrate, what your religion is on this Easter, we have to remember that we are all from different cultures and we are all special human beings. And I think he's probably one of my favorite astronauts on Artemis II right now. Not that you should really have a favorite one, but his insight and the fact that his daughters, like, well, the one daughter I saw on my For You page is extremely supportive of him. And I'm sure their whole entire family is too. But it's just, I don't know. I'm one of those girls that are crying over these space missions. I can't deny it. I'm so happy that this is happening. They found 2 craters on the other side of the moon. And I can't remember what one of the craters is called. But the other one, they're proposing to name it Carol after Reed, one of the astronauts, his wife who died of cancer like the month prior to this launch. And some of the comments I read were so sweet. I can't. This is... I'm sorry. This is so good. I think I want to play RuneScape Dragon Wilds right now, but I do have the live stream up on here, and I just learned that the astronauts are also seeing meteorites strike the moon, and they were able to see the corona of the sun. And God, this is so cool. I cannot wait. Right now, they're observing an eclipse for like the next 10 minutes, but also they can observe Saturn. And I wonder, I don't know if they can see Saturn. I don't know what direction they're in right now. Ooh. Okay, we're getting a live feed of the eclipse. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, this is so cool. But I guess before I do that, I should show off my progress of my crochet, because this is a crochet channel and not a NASA channel, a NASA fangirl channel. But we have 3 of these done. Here's 1. Here's 2. It's all wrapped up. Come on, 2. And then here's 3. I've also got all the hearts done. So we have 6 of these little guys, which I don't think you really need a close-up of any of these. These are just hearts. It's sparkly, and I really, really love that. And I'm going to be sad if I can't get my hands on this one again. This is a really pretty yarn. And then we have 3 of these guys. Maybe I could just sew in my ends instead of playing. I don't know, because the thing is, like, this is very interesting, but there's many gaps between, so I'm having a hard time focusing. So maybe I'll have like some, I don't know, I need something in the background to help me focus on this. All right, so it looks like we've lost contact with Artemis II, or the Orion, and right now they had just finished the solar eclipse, and one of the astronauts asked somebody to give them superlatives to greatly help them out, to say, like, explain how phenomenal this event was, and can't wait to hear those. But for now, I'm gonna keep this on. I have a visualization from, oh, I think we okay, they just all applauded and they got back in touch. But I also, on the other screen, have James Webb Space Telescope, like 4K footage, and also space music going on in the background. I gotta get back to the live stream, sorry. I'm watching my first public affairs event live. So it's basically when the astronauts are being asked questions and they respond. Big delay, but it's so cool. Like, getting to hear their reactions. I'm so excited. There's a huge lull in conversation right now because they are speaking to President Trump, and I don't know if they, like, the astronauts are just responding. They don't know. There's no like communication right now of what should happen.
Administrator Alex, I'm going to just get a quick comm check, make sure you guys are still on the line and we didn't have a handover.
Okay, so they just checked in comms. Basically, that was a lot of America is great hoopla. So, yay, that was exciting, I guess. But back to it, back to the mission, back to the science. Good morning. Giving you an update on everything that I worked on last night after crying over the lunar flyby. So we got all 3 of these done last night. Well, actually, 2 of them were finished this morning, but it was all crocheted last night and I just worked on sewing it up. And then we started working on this beret. So I'm halfway, well, I'm a little bit more than halfway done with this. I just got to do the straight lines and then do the bind off and sewing in, but that's all for later. So that's what I've been working on. And yeah, I don't really have much to say except for I hope you enjoyed the lunar flyby as much as I did, because it's wonderful how much technology has changed. The fact that we use lasers to communicate with them, phenomenal. Like, being able to live stream and like watch a live stream of it, I'm so amazed. Every time space exploration happens, I'm just like, yeah, this is amazing. Alrighty, just finished another beret base. We're still watching the Artemis mission. Right now they're exercising so that they can like test the gases that are inside the cabin, which is really interesting. Like, okay, a lot of people don't, I mean, I'm sure if you're as obsessed with this as I am, you realize how much science and research is going into this so that they can continue doing these missions. I'm just so amazed every time I listen to what's going on and hear what's going on. They earlier were talking about like the visuals they received while flying by during that blackout. And one of the visuals were the meteoroids striking, and like there was like a bluish white tail, which is a really cool. They also were talking about like certain things on the ship itself, like an orange thing. I don't remember exactly what Victor Glover said, but something orange kind of like distracted his eyes. And they were talking about their ages as well, which I think that leads to, hold on, I'm going to try to be quick about this because they're about to do the press conference. But yeah, like that orange visual distracted his eye, their ages. He was talking specifically about how like 5 years ago, it's a completely different setting and like how tired their eyes were, and they definitely need more visuals on it. And one thing that I have a feeling may happen is the crew may become a little bit younger if they have qualified crew, because that is something that Victor Glover did mention, was his age and his eyes kind of did affect his visuals. And Christina was talking about how there was like an ohm crater and she kept on missing it because she kept on, I kind of like saying she was distracted by another crater or something like that, and she should have brought out her, I don't remember all the technological terms, but she should have brought something else so she could have gotten a better visual on it to keep her eyes focused and all that. But I'm sure it's very overwhelming to be looking at that much space for the very first time with human eyes, their specific eyes. Like, I'm looking at photos, I'm like, there's so much to look at, you know? And I'm just so excited to hear their debriefing. Today, they're doing like personal calls with their family, and I think that's so cute that they're doing that. And it's very amazing. I learned recently that Christina, she actually doesn't have children, and I think that helps dedicate herself more to science and astrophysics and being an astronaut. She's flown to the ISS. Oh, that was something else too. There was an ISS conference today too, or conference, I guess, call between the two spaceships and or space stations, I suppose. And it's just so cool that they were able to talk to each other. I had a hard time following along because they would overlap, and then also the subtitles were a little bit unaligned because I always have closed captions on. They're about to start, but there should be a feed coming out soon with both, not a feed, but like a video capture of both of their sides alongside the audio. And I'm so excited for that. I finished the base of one of the pink and red berry Melty Love bows, and I'm working on another one. I'm going to have one more after this so I can have 3, because that's kind of the goal. I want to have 2 like separate bows and then one bow that I can put on a beret. I have the base beret done already. I just got to add the slime chips and sew that all in, but that's a future me project. I don't feel like doing that right now. But this conference was more of like a, not a public relations thing, but like more journalism thing. And what struck me the most was seeing so many of the women dressed in solar system outfits or like lunar outfits, and it was so cute. And it's inspiring me to get back into sewing again, because one of the reasons why I sewed so many clothes before Joanne shut down is because they had really cute like space styled fabrics. I can't get that often here. I just don't want to go to the front of the store to ask for somebody to come back to the cutting table and then like ask for 3 yards of fabric. And I just don't feel like bothering them. And I know I can get it online, but there's no discounts on fabric. And honestly, at this point, small businesses, they're going to cost that much, if not more. So really, I shouldn't
be concerned about no discounts or not. However, Joanne spoiled me. Girl, you spoiled me. If I can get my hands on like more space styled fabrics through a small business, I'd much rather do that. I need to take a look through Michael's fabrics and see. I have a feeling that trends might start going more space travel because this is a big event. I know I'm kind of in like a funnel or whatever you want to call them on the internet where I'm getting a bunch of this information because it took a while for me to get it on my For You page, to be honest. But not everybody is as interested in space exploration as me and the 136,000 people that are watching this live stream right now, you know? But I think that will change the trajectory in fashion and trends just a teensy weensy bit. Whimsigoth is already kind of a thing, so I think that's going to get a little bit bigger, even though Whimsigoth is more like sun-based. I think celestial-based trends will start picking back up. Oh, another thing I saw was somebody with their little notepad, their journal. It was all like the planets, and it was very, very cute. It did include Pluto because there were 9 planets, unless I looked at it wrong and it was the sun as the first. But either way, I thought that was very cute. And I love humanity so much. I'm so optimistic about life right now. My garden's going well. This space exploration, this lunar flyby exploration has gone well, besides the never-ending question about the toilets. So it's a venting problem, basically. Like, in my mindset, it's kind of like it can't flush. So that's something they're going to work on for future projects. And like the goal of this project is like to do the little stepping stones to get us to Mars. That's super exciting. But they're about to do another like conference soon with the scientists and the astronauts. Good morning. I'm packing to go to the car store to get my car fixed. Back here, we've got 3 of these bows all fixed up. And then I have all 6 of these hearts done. I gotta get 3 more of the pink colorway done. But we have the beret. I just finished taking off all of the stitch markers so that I can pack the bag. I think I should leave soon, even though it's like 5 minutes down the street. But like, you never know with Florida traffic, Central Florida specifically. It's always tough. So also, while we're out, there's a thrift store across the street. So we're going to go to the thrift store, and I'm going to try not to buy anything, though I don't mind spending money at thrift stores as opposed to like big box stores. This thrift store has been pretty promising. It's where I get all my fabric from, usually. It's where I got all my fabric for my Gajinka, which didn't turn out the way I wanted, which is so unfortunate, but you know, that's besides the point. It's where I got my tablecloth for my circle skirt, and it's where my husband got a new LCD monitor for his PC. So we're going to try to find like a drill out there. So the lucky thing about living in Florida in general is that a lot of people come and retire down here. And because of that, a lot of their offspring, for lack of better terms, they try the estate sales, and the estate sales don't always like work out to their benefit. So they just donate everything, which benefits me and the community around us, because I wouldn't say I live in a poor community. I definitely don't live in a rich community. I'm definitely in the suburbs, much better off than I was when I was a child. But a lot of us benefit off of this specific style of purchasing. Everybody that works there is super cool and super alternative. So it's always nice to go there and be like, we're in the right neighborhood. So yeah, I'm going to finish packing. I have a black yarn. I have my Hirschner's black yarn, and I'm just going to make another beret so that it matches the blue and teal, or the teal and black bows that I made. So I can have one that goes with one of the bows. And then yeah, that's the plan. Made a quick pit stop at Lowe's because I needed 2 more lids. Actually, I only needed 1. Kind of wanted 2. So not only are we getting like a drill for drilling holes into the buckets, But I also want a bucket dedicated to just water, and then a bucket dedicated to in-process composting. Just because, like, I've seen a lot of people do it, and, like, I don't think we're going to produce enough waste this year, or, like, food scrap waste this year to need a second one, but it's going to be a great backup. I have one bucket that's just holding dirt, and one that's upside down that's holding plants on top of it. And then I have the composting one that needs holes in it. So I think it'd be good to have all 3 lids. I got them all in black because they don't have pink lids. All they have is a lot of blue and then like a few black. And I found the second one. I was like, okay, I might as well just grab it. We did use a gift card for this. So now we're officially on our way over to the car shop and then going to the thrift store.
Good evening. It is 11:30 p.m. We were both very sleepy after the whole entire ordeal. If you guys saw, I finished a whole beret after going thrifting in the time period that it took for our cars to be finished. Mine got finished first. I got there first, in my defense. My husband's took over 3 hours. So, good to know that it takes about 4 hours, maybe 5, for me to make a beret base. Also, the pop socket on the back of the phone that I'm recording y'all from, it's broken. So if you guys randomly drop, I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best. I do not feel like replacing my pop socket anytime soon, especially since I spent so much. Well, yeah, I did spend so much money, but that's besides the point. The car will be the car for now. I did end up spending money while thrifting, which I told myself I wasn't going to. However, it is thrifting, and I think I kind of mentioned it before that I might end up spending money because I feel like it's a different allowance for me, especially since it didn't cost that much money for everything that I got. It was going to cost less, but at the very last minute, I saw something in the corner of my eye, and I said that I needed it. So let me just show you guys what I got. First, I saw this. It probably needs a good old wash. I don't think the guy that checked us out, like, he's checked me out before when I brought my sister-in-law there before. He doesn't really read the price tags, which I really appreciate. I think, like, kind of same wavelength where it's like, we know we're going to craft with this. It's not like a flippers kind of thing. But anyways, here's the inside of it. It's drawn on, but that's okay. I don't really mind. Here's the inside of that. I don't know what that is. It needs a good old wash, but I think this would be really nice for something. Probably like my paintbrushes and all that. And then like everything I do with my like gift bags and all that. This is really nice. I told my husband too that we might be able to use it for like his chains. Because not gonna lie, kind of want to get into chain mailing. Not quite chain mailing, but like chain work in general because I see him into it and I'm like, ooh, I want to make it jewelry. So yeah, like I said, I need to wash it. I might just stick it in the bathtub in this bathroom for a little bit, and then I'll remember and be like, oh, I have a thing that I could just wash out and then use. I also thought about using it for like my baking stuff, which might actually benefit more. Like I could put all my silicone molds down here because I also kind of really want to get into not enamel, but whatever the E word is with the epoxy, maybe. There's another thing which isn't epoxy, but resin. Maybe that's what it is. Kind of want to get into resin crafting, but I don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty heavy duty one, and it was $7, marked at $7. I don't think he charged me full price. Very nice guy. Every time it's pleasant to talk to him. Even though I don't really have conversations, I just kind of get in, look around for like 3 hours, and then leave. Next, while in all that area, I found these 2 bags, these gift bag things. I thought it would be really good for my, what's it called? Bows. If anybody wanted to just buy a bow, this would be perfect. $5. I think, oh, there's still 6 of them in there. So 6 of these. And I think this was the same, $5, 6. This is Christmas. This one's spring. This one I would use more often. This one, it's probably just going to be my backup ones. But it's nice to have these 4 bows. And then I also, in that same area, found these guys, which I could definitely use. They're unopened, but I could use them for my popsicle sticks or whatever. Not popsicle sticks, my cake pops. But like also, I feel like that's such a waste of like resources with this. So I don't know yet. I could use it for my garden, honestly and truly. But I don't know if that's quite what I want. If anything, I could compost it, but that's not really what I want to do. This is good material. So I know there's a lot of people that make their own like crochet stopper things for like amigurumi sticks. Maybe that's something I could try out. It was only $4 for me. And if I only make a few, that's okay. I use chopsticks personally. I also don't do much amigurumi in general, but like if I can help the local crochet community, I wouldn't mind, you know? So this was pretty neat. And then I found 2 more fabrics, which I know I said I was going to buy fabric. However, this one, I saw it at first and I'm like, okay, well, this is pretty. And I'm pretty sure it's polyester. It feels like it. Maybe it's a mix, but it's definitely polyester. But I want more darker colors in my fabric stash because all I ever find is white. I think I've mentioned this before. I live in a tourist-heavy area. The off-road of where their store is where like old, like vintage tourism Florida was. Before Disney really came in, this was one of the main roads that you would take, and there were like a whole bunch of like tourist stands. Like we still have a couple of those vintage tourist things. We used to have like a Circus World thing, like not too far from where I live, if that's an indication of anything. Like I think it was one of the stops that the P.T. Barnum is, or maybe it's the Ringling Bros, because they have like a location in St. Pete. It was one of the stops that, because the train station, or not the train station, but the train tracks go from Tampa to Orlando and up through like the Jacksonville area. I've taken the Amtrak before, and it was fun. I was in college, and I wish it was cheaper to do. But anyways, besides the point, we have a lot of hotels down this area, so we get a lot of hotel materials into this little shop right here. So we got this, and then this one was what really got me to want to buy it. I wasn't planning on buying fabric at all. This one's definitely polyester. This one, I think it's a mix. If I can find it, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, this one's from Walmart. I saw the tag on it when I picked it up. There were 2 of these, but one of them was a fitted sheet, and I don't like working with fitted sheets when it comes to sewing. So I looked at it and I was like, ugh, fitted sheet, gross, get out of my way. And my husband was like, yes, my liege. So yeah, we got these 2. I'm going to throw it in the wash as soon as possible so I can work with it very, very quickly. Oh, also in the last area before I picked up the fabric, what made me think about using that little tool box as a silicone mold holder for my cake stuff is this. All I saw was this when I picked it up. But if you look closer, I don't know if you can pick it up in here. Hold on. Well, you can't see it. If you look closer, there's smiley faces in there, and it's so cheesy. I really don't like it. But it is what it is. It was $4. It was a Halloween treat mold. I wonder what year it was, because I think nowadays the treat molds are much more expensive. Let me give it a little look. Any indication of how much inflation has happened? This does not tell me how
or what year this was made, and I don't really feel like looking it up. Right now, just a regular treat mold goes for $12.99. So this being $3.99 is definitely pre-2020, which is such a fun find. I really want to get into resin crafting, but I need to be better about not just picking up new crafts. So it says great for ice cubes, chocolate, and candy. I think it could also be good for resin. I have to talk to more people because I feel like I'm too not talented in that area to pick it up, but I really want to get into resin crafting with these. And then if I do chocolate though, like I could just melt off the ends with a face on it. That face is so ugly. It's so stupid. It's like a jack-o'-lantern face, but the eyes aren't really jack-o'-lanterns. It's just a smile. I don't know. I hate, like, maybe it's because I'm like more serious. Like, okay, I say that, but I'm also like into scene fashion and also pastel goth. However, the faces on things or anything that says like Happy Halloween or what year it is really makes me not want anything. Like anything that has words on it, I just feel like it cheapens the value of it. So anyways, I need to wash this. I need to wash these. I have one more thing, the very last thing. So when I rang everything up, everything I saw that I showed you so far was $11.99, which was a really great price. And at the very last minute, I saw this in the corner. Now, I already have one that's much smaller than this. However, the one that's smaller, when I bring it to the shows I go to, I feel like people see that the collar is on there and they're like, oh, that must be for dogs. And it's like, I mean, if you want it to be, but it's made for my size neck. And I think that's kind of ultimately what I want to do with like some of this fabric is make more of those back colors in different sizes. But if I could display it on here, then I could be like, hey, it's different. Like not just my size collar. I need to get like a pattern or like learn the circumference of things like that and start drafting from there. But if I would put it on something like this, it's a more closer to a human sized neck as opposed to the other one. The other one I can use for small jewelry because my husband really does want to get into chain mailing and he wants to make jewelry and he said he wants to do it for me. So it's really nice of him. But yeah, I have a feeling he's going to end up making stuff that he's not going to want to keep or I'm not going to want to keep or vice whatever. So yeah, I think this would be great for the shop whenever I get accepted to another market. Just so I can display things better. But yeah, this is what marked my price up to almost $20 because this was $7.99 and I think because it was right there, they couldn't really like mark it down for me, which is fine. Like I'm really grateful anytime he checks us out. Like I feel like he's always helping us like get lower prices, which it's really nice of him. So yeah, let me put everything away. I don't really have much to show you crochet wise because I showed you the beret that I finished and I didn't do anything except for eat lots of bread and take a nap after that. So yippee, $7.99 from Ross. I wonder how old this is. I believe it's raining, but another update on the garden. We got holes in here, so we couldn't find a drill bit or a drill at the thrift store. So what we did, well, what my husband did was like slammed a screwdriver into the sides and the bottom of this. This probably could use more holes, but I already felt bad that he was doing that for me in general. But yeah, we've got holes in there so we can start some aeration. And there's some holes on the bottom, just large enough, so hopefully worms will make their way up in there. I can hear the rain. It's really pleasant. The blackberry is doing pretty nice. Ah, this looks so good in camera. The shading right there. Oh, that's so pretty. I did put the orange pail back out here because now I have lids for this and this. One of them has soil and one of them has water. I can't remember which. I'm pretty sure this is the one with the soil. Maybe. Actually, I don't know. Whatever. One of them has soil, one of them has water. So that's pretty neat. Also, it's not perfect, so don't laugh at me, but I've cleaned up my desk. I still need to wipe it down, but like there's no more piles. Well, there's still piles, but it's not as many piles down here. Ugh, it's still a mess. I'm not sure if I'm okay with this. I have a pile of scrap yarns back here.
I am waiting on one of my sriracha pea jars or whatever cans to dry out, and I think that's where I'm going to put these. They're like just big enough for one project, and that's about it. Not one project, just a scrap yarn project. I don't know. They're long pieces of yarn, but enough to do something, like at least get 5 stitches out of. Alrighty, folks, we're at the end of the week where I show you guys everything we worked on and like just summarize the week, I guess. And so I'm going to start with what's over here while kind of, well, maybe I won't work on this. Hello, mister. Welcome to the party. So to start off with, the first thing we finished were the rest of these. So they were basically done by last week, but then I was just like, no, I don't know when I finish these. But yeah, these are done. We got 3 of them, and one of them will be attached to this beret, which is what we got done at the car store. This one was finished first. This one, okay, so this is a Hirschner's yarn, and while I do prefer Hirschner's over Michael's, well, the loops and threads, this is a very soft yarn, so it doesn't stay as stiff as like this one. This is a big twist yarn, and even though I use the same size, what's it called, stitch crochet hook, why am I like this? You can tell the Hirschner's one is a little teensy bit bigger. It may be because my tension was a little bit different too, because I, towards the end, started rushing things because I was like, okay, I can finish this before my husband's car is done. So whatever. So I think in the future, I may either switch back to big twist for the plain colored yarn or berets, as opposed to using Hirschner's. I think this yarn would be good for my defrosting skelly shrugs. I do really like how soft it is and how floppy it is, but it's not good beret material. So we've got 2 berets, and then we got the 3 clips. And currently right now, I was working on this. We've got all of the base parts of this done. So we got 3 of these, and then we got 6 of these, and then we've got 3 of these. So that's going to be something I finish up next week. And then we've got 5 of the 6. Yeah, 5 of 6 done of the sample pieces for my commissioner. This is the new yarn. This is the Lion Brand Pound of Love yarn. With this, I do prefer this much more than the other ones. I've shown you guys the other ones. I'll show you guys again probably tomorrow, which will be next week for y'all. But before I go meet up with my commissioner, I'm going to do 1 more of these without this. I think it should be fine. I didn't even do a try on because I finished this while editing. But let me put this over my shoulders real quick. All right, so this is going to be one of my larger sizes. This is too big for me, but it might be beneficial for somebody who has a wider torso than I do, or wider shoulders than I do. I don't know at this point yet. I'm still learning on how to work cardigans. That's just what it is. That's the name of the game. I will say, I think this won't end up being an open cardigan unless you want to keep it open and just not put the buttonholes on. It's just a lot of math, and I'm not going to lie, I'm really bad at math, and this is why I can't be a scientist, because science, coincidentally, has a lot of math involved. So I think this is going to be really fun to work with a live subject on. I have some people in mind for my future as well whenever I get more of these done, or whenever I finish with this one in particular. I really hope she goes with this yarn, maybe the dark green yarn. I just don't think the dark green will really show with the black. This shows very well. And I know this is really hard because the light's coming from this way and not this way, but even in the darker light, you can still see the green as opposed to the hunter green. So yep, that's it for this week. I am very excited for Halloween Horror Night season, although I will say I'm not as excited as previous years. So tomorrow is when I'm meeting up with my commissioner. So I'm hoping to break away and see like the landing. It's at 6:30 p.m., which is when the punk show starts. It's a punk goes pop. No, it's a when we were punk show. So like when we were young, I think. I don't know. It's
it's a lot of pop punk, so I'm probably going to go in and out. Maybe I'll put my earplug in while listening to the music and watching the crash down. I don't know. I'm kind of weird about going to shows because I'm still learning and like knowing what I like to go to shows for. Hope you're enjoying your week. Hope that y'all enjoyed the lunar flyby. Science is so important. Arts are so important. NASA needs to stop being defunded. There's so much I could go on and on about this, but I'd rather not leave that for this hour and a half long video. So thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.